Head for the park and greet the Mets. Hot dogs, sweet, that's all I say. Guaranteed to have a heck of a day because the Mets are really rocking that ball, hitting those home runs over the wall. Alright, Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens, Touchdown, let's go, Mets! That's the cheer all over New York town. Meet the Mets. Head for the park and greet the Mets. Hot dogs, screw, that's all I say. Guaranteed to have a heck of a day because the Mets are really rocking the ball, hitting those home runs over the wall. Oh, yeah, the Johnny, Brooklyn, Queens, Touchdown. Let's go, Mets. That's the cheer all over New York town. Let's go, Mets.
Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and we are back here live in the hellhole of New York City. Never know what you might find walking on the street here now. And we're back here live, and well, not really, well, live, yeah. Not on camera. I don't feel like being on camera tonight. Just to tune out. Talking about New York Mets baseball and Major League Baseball overall. Now, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and like this live stream and participate in the chat. And let's get to the chat. It's a very busy chat here today. Mugsley in love. Mugsley. Hello. Hi, how are you? Yes, so we're back here. Been very busy here. Doing a lot of stuff. Posting a lot of videos. Plenty of videos tomorrow. I did some very interesting videos today. I did a video very early this morning on Jose Abreu. Was not really Met related, but I thought it was, talk about something. I'm posting a lot of videos early in the morning. I kind of look at, the baseball channel in a lot of ways. It's like a lot of people like to read the paper in the morning. Had that video before 9 o'clock. It's just a little bit different for people. And I'll have that through the trading deadline. The winter meetings. The winter meetings begin in 2 weeks from today. So I will be on a lot over the next 2 weeks live. We're going to have a lot of videos up there in most days, at least 2 to 3 videos a day. And there'll be live streams every day. I don't have anything really pressing right now to do. I got one little thing that's got to get done. It's away from this channel. But that's not a major thing. And so everything is sort of focused on this. I would also mention I have another channel called The Football Hut, which I've not done too much content on of recent. Been very busy doing this. But I honest, the Giants lost today, 31-18 to the Detroit Lions. And the Jets, oh my God, the Jets had a terrible loss. The guy can't beat the Patriots. Tom Brady hasn't been there in 2 years, and they still can't beat them. It's crazy. They scored no points at offense. Zach Wilson's just a terrible quarterback. They had 2 yards of production. That's terrible. Anyway, so I haven't been doing much football. I've been just sort of focused in on doing this. Like I said, there'll be 3 videos up every day, at least 2 to 3 videos, and there'll be a daily live stream. There'll be a live stream tomorrow, probably in the evening at night. There'll be a live stream on Tuesday. Give you a pretty. I'm not sure what time. Probably during the day. Might be doing something in the evening with a friend of mine. Wednesday, no live stream. Plenty of videos. Keep your eye out for the rest of the week after that. So we'll just keep that where that is. So the Mets. What do we have on the agenda? We have two big free agents the Mets have that are going and talking to other teams. Brandon Nimmo and Jacob deGrom. Brandon Nimmo has so many teams on him. He might have half of baseball talking to him. And right now, I'm not quite sure where Brandon's going to go. He might go to the Cubs. He might go to the Blue Jays. He might go to the Mariners, the Rangers, the Dodgers. Didn't know Dodgers have a center. They need a center fielder. Didn't know that. Possibly the Yankees, which bothers me a lot because the Mets said they weren't going to sign Aaron Judge, but they'll go and sign Brandon Nimmo. What other teams? What other teams are on him? Let me just double check. The Rockies, the Giants, I know are really interested. The Tigers, believe it or not, the Red Sox, the Angels, and the Houston Astros. Now, I've been getting a lot of comments on Brandon the last couple of days. Just complete, I'm very tolerant now. I've sort of had to make myself very tolerant of the comments because obviously I came from believe it or not, the rough and tumble world of online comics, and they're completely insane. So I've had to sort of scale back my going back and forth with people. But the comments about Brandon Nimmo, just completely just go after him beyond. I cannot believe the nasty comments about him. One guy wrote to me today complaining that Brandon is not an on-base machine. The Mets need to bring in an on-base machine. Well, I asked this person who would he like to bring in. He brought up Masada Yoshida, who's this Japanese pitcher who's not been, outfielder, who has not been posted yet by his team in Japan. He's not available yet. We don't know how well he's going to play here in the States. And the other person was that this person mentioned, this other player, was Jurickson Profar of the San Diego Padres. Now, and he mentioned good defensive center fielder. Well, neither one of these guys are good defensive center fielders. They're both left fielders. Reputation of Yoshida is that he's not a good outfielder. And we know the reputation of Profar, he is an infielder by trade. Converted outfielder. And we've seen him, he's not a good outfielder. And they're going to play center field. These guys are left fielders. I pointed out to this person that, Jurickson Profar has a 334 on base percentage, and Nimmo is at 385. Also, the career wins above replacement for Profar is 94, and Nimmo's is 130, which means he's 30% better than the average major leaguer, while Profar is 6% worse than the average major leaguer, based off of these offensive averages for everyday players or position players. People complain. I had one person complain that he doesn't like the hustle that Brandon has when he runs to first after a walk or getting hit by a pitch. Craziness. Nitpicking about the craziest things. People will just say crazy stuff when players are trying to make the most money. Now, I don't know where Brandon's going to go. I've done a video talking about how he was going to come back to the Mets, which was based off of MLB trade rumors predictions a couple weeks ago. But I don't know where Brandon's going to go. Ron Darling obviously know what the deal was. He's not sure that Brandon's coming back. He thinks that Jacob is going to come back. The chance of him coming back is much greater than Brandon coming back. I don't know where the Mets are going to go if they lose Brandon. They could re-sign Michael Conforto. We'll get into Conforto and Bellinger too. Let's see. This live stream's not going to be very long because around 6:30 I got a company coming over, but we have a situation. So if Nimmo leaves, who's going to play? Who's going to take over for him? Conforto, we know, has let off a little bit with the Mets. He's not a number 4 or 5 hitter. He's just not. He would not provide the kind of protection the Mets need offensively for Pete Alonso. He's a 6 or 7 hitter at this rate. So if they don't get him, who else is out there? That would be an impact type player. Maybe Trey Turner, who we've heard about. That's a problem because where are you going to play him? Shane Wick 722 says move Marte to center. Well, right. If they brought back Mike Conforto, you put Marte in center. I hate losing Nimmo because he really creates a real dynamic that they don't have really. Losing and I just don't want to lose him. You know, I like the way he plays. I like the way he hustles. I hate to see him leave. But if he's going to take the most money and he's got the agent to do it, then there's nothing really Mets can do. All right. Now Jacob deGrom. There's been so much speculation about where he's going to go. I've heard the Dodgers. I've heard the Cubs a little bit. I've heard the Giants a little bit. I don't think the Braves are going to do anything for him. I think he's out of that price range. To be honest with you, I don't think that's going to happen. So where is Jacob going to go? He has said, and the word has gotten out, that he would return to the Mets and be happy to return to the Mets if whatever deal the Mets give him matches or similar to the best offer he gets. I think that's kind of his way of saying, if you give me what I want, I'll leave. I don't want to leave. I mean, I think that's kind of what it is going out there. Muttley in Love says, don't let Nimmo walk away, my opinion. Well, that's my opinion too. Don't let Brandon leave, okay? He's good. He's a really good player. You want good players, and this is a championship level team. You don't let championship level players leave. Obviously, the biggest knock against Brandon is that he doesn't stay healthy. But when he plays, he is top-notch player, and he's gotten better. He was always good against left-handed pitching. But his biggest issue with me and with everybody else, he can't stay healthy. But if you keep him on the field, the Mets have a good chance to do well. And he scored 100 runs. And that's important to remember. But back to Jacob. Now, we know all these teams are in on him. I want to see him come back. I think a lot of people want to see him come back. But like I said, the money is really going to be a determining factor. Matthew Landau, how you doing, Matthew? How you doing? What's up, man? I haven't been in the stream since the playoffs lost. I want the Mets to pick up Bellinger and take a flyer on it. Let me tell you something. I would stay away from Bellinger. I've said that. The guy needs to go someplace where there's no playoff pressure. He needs to reestablish his career. He's just not right now. I don't think that he would help any playoff team get him righted. Now, maybe Buck could get him righted. But to me, he's too much of a risk. Seeing how poorly he hit in 2021 and how poorly he played this last year, if you are a playoff team, you stay away from him. And I would say this, that a playoff team released him. I mean, basically, that's when you get non-tendered, that means you're still obligated to play for a certain team. They did not even offer him a contract. And he wasn't up for free agency. He had another year until free agency. So they told him that hit the bricks. Pound sand, Cody. Get your bat and your glove and get the hell out of here. And that's what they told him. You know, I would be very careful. He needs to go on a team that isn't good. I think the Giants would be a good place for him. None of that pressure. He's got to go somewhere where he is under the radar. Go to the Reds. That'd be a perfect place for him. Go to the Reds for a few months. Get his bat straightened out. Get his head straightened out. Go to Miami. Play there. Go someplace where they don't care about winning, and they just want to. And he'll play well. Get himself out of a hot spot in a big market, and then reestablish his career. Okay, he's 26 years old. There's no reason his game to decline unless there's some off the field issue. And some people have been writing to me on the last day about him. There's no reason for his career to be in this kind of a decline. Again, from Matthew, let's see. You think it's one or the other between deGrom and Nimmo, or do you think there's a chance for both? Well, I don't think they're separate. I don't think it's an either or. I think in the past it would have been either or. If the Mets front office goes to Cohen and said, "Look, you're gonna have to put a couple more extra $1 million on both of them," and he'll come back and say, "Well, you think they can help us win?" And they say yes. He's not gonna keep them from signing players. He's not gonna keep anybody from not being here to be here. The money's not an issue now. It's not like when the Wilpons were running the team and they were penny pinching every little thing and not really paying attention. They weren't paying attention to their own money with Madoff, but they were paying attention, with the team. But the money's not the issue, really. It's whether these players want to be here. Now Nimmo could price himself out of here. We're here now 6 years for $130 million. It's crazy. But if that's what the market is, that's what it is. Now, I'm not too keen on the 6 years because next year he's going to be 30 years old. And is he going to be a center fielder 2-3 years from now? I don't know. He has improved himself greatly, as an outfielder. But he's certainly not a future center fielder much longer. He's going to be a center fielder much longer. This is center fielder money he's getting. And really, how much more does Marte have left as an outfielder, as a regular outfielder? So these are the kinds of issues the Mets have to figure out going into, as we're in the offseason now, and they're trying to rebuild this team. And we still have pitching issues. We don't have any established bullpen pieces. They made the trade with the Marlins. They picked up a couple of guys off of waivers. They picked up that guy from the Yankees. They picked up that guy from the Braves, Woods, and Riding from the Yankees. But they've not brought in anybody that's established. And obviously they have 3 pitching holes in their staff, in their rotation. They're talking to Senga, which I think is a separate issue. From what I understand, if the Mets or any team were to sign him, that would not go towards the payroll tax. So that would not be an issue. Again from Matthew. Sorry to hammer away with questions, but would you rather have Verlander for 2 years on a Scherzer deal or deGrom for 4 years at $40 million a year? I'll tell you, either way, you're taking a risk. Either way, you're taking a risk. So you have to sort of, do you go with the guy that you've known for a long time? You give more time, more years, or do you give a guy that's a Hall of Famer that's trying to make one more big contract? And this is really the first time he's ever been a free agent. his only real free agent contract. And do you make the move and bring him in for 2 years? This is a very difficult question for the Mets. The biggest thing about deGrom is he's younger. He's 34 right now. That's really the biggest advantage he has, is his age. And just reading from things online, some orthopedic surgeons have given their opinion. I mean, they haven't seen me giving their opinions on a player. But a surgeon said in one of the papers that his injuries are not catastrophic injuries. They're not going to be something that's that's going to keep him incapacitated as a player. Now, I would mention this about deGrom. He missed time last year. So many injuries. There isn't a lot of wear on his body, but he does throw 100 miles an hour. He didn't have a good September. I think we could all agree with that. This September was brutal. The Mets should have ran away with the division, but because the 4-star players, in particular deGrom, because deGrom went 2-5 in September, they didn't win the division. So that is one issue too, is how his performance is. How does the analytics department look at his performance, and how do they look at it to where they say to themselves, is he going to be at this level going forward, at least in 23 and 24? I mean, you got to ask yourself that. So it's a very difficult question about Verlander versus Scherzer. I know that the Mets will pivot very quickly to Scherzer if they lose deGrom. I mean, that's the rumor. That was the rumor earlier today, that they will pivot very quickly. That they're not going to stick around too long deciding what to do with him. Let me just go do my feed a little bit here. But in the meanwhile, please subscribe to the channel and like this video, of course. And not going to be on too long. I'll be back in tomorrow talking about the Mets. And hopefully we're going to have some movement this week because obviously some of the players are going to want to create, have contracts before we get to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's a big day. And hopefully after that, we'll see what happens next week, specifically on the weekend. And of course, next week, we have 2 weeks until the winter meetings. I'm going to try to do as many live streams as I can over the next 2 weeks. That week of the winter meetings starts on the 4th. It goes from the 4th to the 8th. I'll try to be on as much as I can, specifically with live streams in the evening. I'll definitely be on during the day on Sunday. It's going to be extremely busy here over the next 2 weeks. So you want to sub to this channel. You'll get all the news about the Mets and really some news about Major League Baseball too. So it's not just about the Mets. It's primarily the Mets, but I'm trying to grow this channel to be more of a general channel a little bit to a certain degree. I do appreciate people that watch, so, don't think that I don't appreciate the comments and everything else. I really do. I'm serious. I'm not joking. People say I'm insincere. I'm serious. But over the next week or two, we're going to have a lot of videos. I'll have videos tomorrow. I'll have a video in the morning probably on Dansby Swanson. I'll have a video also of Verlander. And we'll see what the afternoon brings. But I won't be home until around 5:30 tomorrow, 6 o'clock. So maybe there'll be a 7 o'clock video. Who knows? Very busy day here today. I would mention all the videos from today, I did them yesterday. I did them very late last night. I did a quick job editing and hope you like it. They've done very well, the videos today. So I appreciate that. From Matthew, I think the Mets should look to extend one of Pete or Jeff, or preferably Pete this offseason. Got to lock up these great players before they hit the market like the Braves. I agree. I would mention this about Jeff. I'm very happy that he turned it around. I think having a good manager really put him in a good position to succeed. Good bosses and good managers always put you in a position to succeed. And he certainly did that. Buck Showalter certainly did that with them. That's why I'm intrigued to see how Michael Conforto could do here back with the Mets. The shift is not going to be here. The shift is going bye-bye. And he's, as you know, is a pull hitter. I love to see how he performs with Buck as the manager. I'd love to see that. I don't know what you think in the chat, but that would be interesting. Or even, I'm not, like I said, Bellinger has to reestablish himself in a small market before he can come back into a big market. The last half of his career has been a disaster, and it's unusual for a 26-year-old to be this bad. Okay, I'm going to go through the teams and the names of the players and see where they're going to go or where they're not going to go. So I can't be on stream too much longer. Aaron Judge. We've heard the Yankees. I've heard the Giants, the Angels. Not the Angels, the Dodgers, and the Cubs. I would say he'll go to the Yankees. Jacob deGrom. We've got San Francisco, Texas, the Dodgers, and I would put an X on the Braves. I don't think that's going to happen. Carlos Correa. I don't think the Braves are making any big moves this offseason. The Phillies, I don't see him going to the Phillies. The Cardinals. People always forget about the Cardinals. I would not be surprised if one of these big I could see Trey Turner going to the Cardinals. Even though I did a video on him going to the Dodgers. That's because MLB trade room said he was going to the Dodgers. But I could see him go. I could see Trey Turner going to the Cardinals. But anyway, with Correa, you got Boston, the Cubs, and the Mets kind of on the periphery. I don't see that happening, really. He'd have to play third with the Mets. Trey Turner. The Dodgers, the Phillies. I don't think he's going to the Phillies. I think Xander Bogaerts is going there. The Cardinals, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Braves, the Mets, and the Mariners. Mariners going to be very active again. Justin Verlander. If the Mets don't get deGrom, they will pivot and get Verlander. They won't think twice about it. They'll bring him in right away. And like I said, Senga does not count towards the payroll tax. So I can see the Mets bringing in one of these big pitchers and then signing Senga. I don't have Senga on my list, by the way. Xander Bogaerts. The Braves, I don't see him going there. The Red Sox, I don't think he's staying. The Dodgers, the Twins, the Cardinals, the Phillies. I think he'll go to the Phillies. The Giants and the Mariners. But Matthew, I think that Conforto on 1 year deal, 1 year would prove 1 year deal back with the Mets would be a good contract for both sides. Maybe 1 year, $15 million. He's gonna want more than that. Because he turned down $19 million last year. He'll want $19 million again. I think 15 is not enough. I would like to see how he would do in the Buck. Because we saw how well. It's no surprise that McNeil and Lindor played so well. And they got along too. Can't forget that. Dansby Swanson. We'll see what Dansby goes. I'm going to say that he's going to go to the Cubs. I'll have that for tomorrow. Carlos Rodon. I've heard the Mets, but we'll see. Mets desperately need a lefty in their rotation, an established one. But he got a lot of teams on him. Brandon Nimmo, we talked about. Jose Abreu. I got to put down the Padres on this list. The Giants, the Rangers. Doesn't seem like he's going back to the White Sox. The Cubs also on here too. It is Senga. So with Senga, he met with a lot of teams. I know he met with San Diego. He met with the Giants. He met with the Mets. That meeting went well. The Cubs here, Rangers, the Mariners, and the Yankees. Muttley and Love. No more rats in the tunnel. There never was. They just had a miscommunication. And McNeil had a bad attitude. They settled it, and now they're playing well. Chris Bassett, I don't know where he's going to go. If they don't get Senga, but they get one of the other starters, they might go back to him. Let's see. Tyler Anderson, he's signed with the Angels. Anthony Rizzo signed with the Yankees. Kenley Jansen, heard the Giants involved. Martin Perez, he re-signed the qualifying offer with the Rangers. JD Martinez, I really haven't heard anything with him. Justin Turner, I haven't heard anything with him other than the Mets. That little comment. Nathan Eovaldi, who's got a qualifying offer, turned it down. Where the hell's he going to go? Taijuan Walker, I haven't heard anything with him other than I heard the Mariners. Andrew Benintendi, don't know. Noah Syndergaard, I don't know. Jurickson Profar, I've heard San Diego and the Rangers. Josh Bell, I've heard the Rangers, the Padres, and the Giants. Jose Quintana, made the second, third best lefty in the free agents. Cardinals, the Dodgers, and the Giants. Michael Conforto, I've heard the Mets, the Cubs, no, not the Cubs. The Mets, the White Sox, the Yankees, and the Mariners. We'll see where he goes. Christian Vasquez, he's got a lot of teams on him. The Cardinals, the White Sox, the Angels, the Twins, the Boston Red Sox again, the Brewers, Tampa Bay, and San Diego. He looks like the type that would go to Tampa Bay. Adam Ottavino, former Met, possibly future Met. The Mets, the Rockies, back to the Rockies, Boston, or the Phillies. Brandon Drury, Milwaukee, the Dodgers, the Mariners. I'll put the Mets back on here just for the hell of it. I'll mention a player that could be of interest to the Mets. That's Luke Voit. Luke Voit is a guy, but the problem with Luke Voit, he's too similar. He's too similar to Vogelbach. He's too similar to Vogelbach. They're big legs, big thighs, big elephant thighs. They rumble when they run. They don't just skip or walk, they rumble. Well, Muttley, what do you think could be the issue with Bellinger? Drugs, alcohol? Seems crazy to me for him to go downhill like that. I have no idea. Obviously, with him being in Los Angeles, it's difficult for us to sort of judge what's been going on out there. But obviously, there's an issue. It's guys that are at the height of his performance and the height of his success to lose it so quickly. When Rookie of the Year, won MVP the first 3 years of his career, and then win a World Series, and then basically the rails fall off. Can't be just because of injury. There's got to be something a little bit more there. I don't know. There's something seriously wrong in that situation. And I don't know how that gets resolved. But I think that in that situation, the message is just stay away from it. I know people don't like hearing that. Stay away from him. Don't invest any time or money into him. I had one person say the Mets should give him a 3-year deal. Off of what? He hit 165 last year. Hit 220-something this year. How is he earning a big contract, a multi-year contract? He hasn't. So, Matthew says, would Mets ever say F it and get Verlander and deGrom, then lose out on Nimmo and sign Conforto to replace him? I don't see them doing both. It's either one or the other. I think it's one or the other. If they lose deGrom, they'll move very quickly on Verlander. Because they're not going to lose on Verlander. I mean, think about what happened last year. They almost re-signed Steven Matz, and the owner got so pissed he cursed up a blue streak on Twitter, and then they signed Scherzer. I think, in all likelihood, it's either one or the other. Plus Senga, and then the Nimmo thing is a separate thing. I think they kind of look at it that way. I mean, they could sign Nimmo and not re-sign deGrom. Or not even get Verlander. I mean, that's a possibility too. But I don't see it as one or the other. I mean, both of them. It's either one. It's either Verlander or it's deGrom. It's no like, I don't know, we might get both of them. I don't see them doing that. But I also could see them signing one of them and then signing Rodon. I could see them definitely doing that. And Rodon's got a lot of teams on him, by the way. But and like I said about Senga, he's a separate issue because he does not count towards the luxury tax because he's an international player getting a professional contract with the big league club. That's what someone told me. I haven't seen anything different, but we'll see. It's going to be a very crazy week this week. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of content on this channel. And I'm going to be doing a lot of work here, which I don't have a problem with. I love doing this. But just checking a couple of things. Let's see. Now, please like this video, of course, and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Here's a little thing about Verlander. Since I can't read The Athletic because it's in a paywall. Seems that the Mets spoke last week with Justin Verlander on a Zoom call. So that's interesting. So they have had contact with Verlander. And like I said, I'll have a video on him tomorrow. And I'll have a video in the morning on Dansby Swanson. I don't know what my afternoon video will be. I have to think about it. Hello, Ruben Strauss. How are you? Yeah, so check out the videos I posted today. They've done really well on Cody Bellinger and Jacob deGrom, and of course, everything you've been wanting to hear about Jose Abreu. Also, I have a poll on my community. Please take the poll. It's who would you rather the Mets have? Would you rather them have and sign Conforto or Bellinger? Right now, Bellinger's just whipping his ass. At the 364 votes, Bellinger is kicking the ass of Mike Conforto 61% to 39%, with 17 comments having written to me. Matthew, imagine Verlander orange and blue. Reminds me a lot like thinking about Scherzer in orange and blue before he signed. We'll see. Also want to say a goodbye, farewell, so long to our good friend Dominic Smith. Let him go to a small market where there's no pressure. We mentioned about 2020. There was no one in the ballpark. And obviously there's no pressure on him. So hopefully he'll find a dead market to play in and perform well. A couple of teams have already talked to him, I guess. The Padres, the Royals, and the Rays. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the Reds. But he is gone. And I'm happy that he's gone. I was not a big fan of his to begin with. And really, he's a weird guy. A little weird. A little strange. He is out there. Dear Diary, I can't play here. Dear Diary, Buck doesn't like me. Or Matthew, I hope Dom ends up in Chicago. They need a first baseman. Well, we'll see, Matthew. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of him and let him just walk and just take off, just get lost. Again, so tomorrow we'll have a live stream probably in the evening. I'm not sure what time. We're going on a little bit longer than I did tonight. Hopefully we'll have some news tomorrow. There'll be plenty of videos popping up, regardless of what the Mets do. I'll have a live stream. We could talk about stuff later in the evening. And then on Tuesday, I'll be on again, probably during the day at some point. I will not be live on Wednesday with the day before Thanksgiving. And just keep an eye out for the rest of the week. So we're gonna be very busy here, and we're gonna have a lot of fun here. And don't anybody tell you any differently. And that's the bottom line. So you just see a little bit before we leave, before I end the live stream. Like I said, I got company coming over. So let's see here. What's going on here? Okay. There's a little more news about the Mets. It's from Michael Mayer, who's got a great site called Mesmerize. He says on Twitter, the Mets have been in contact with free agent pitcher Jameson Taillon. That's from Ken Rosenthal. I've heard him with the Mets. But that doesn't surprise me. I've heard him with the Mets. I'm not too enthralled with that. Let's see. Just checking my list. I'm like Santa Claus. Let me check my list. See if I have him on here. Guy can never stay healthy. I don't think I have him on my list. So, but he's an interesting guy. I wouldn't go too crazy with him. I'd rather keep Chris Bassett than go after him. But, let's see. And obviously, if there's a trade, I'll come in, before I go to bed. If there's a trade tonight, it's also from Michael Mayer. Said last week on the podcast, is from Ken Rosenthal, that the Mets have real interest in Justin Verlander as a backup to Jacob deGrom. Man, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. So I'm going to end the live stream here. I want to thank you all for coming by. I will be back again tomorrow. I'm going to have regular live streams here until we get through the winter meetings. We're going to have so much stuff for you, and you gotta keep an eye out for me. I'm going to be on live a lot. So this is just the first. I did say last week, but it was very quiet last week, to be honest with you. And I get as much out of the videos as I can. So thank you all for coming by. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Have a good night. See you later. If any big breaks with any kind of trades tonight or any kind of moves tonight, I'll come on and do a live stream. So thank you, and I'll see you later.